There is a pig at full force.
Dangerfield! Dangerfield! Oh, yes, he does. How do you like that? Much a chance from there. Can he beat the round? You bet he can, Dusty. Of course the block can.
Right! McCarthy in game number 50 against his former team.
Dusty says, I'll take it from here, boys.
Nearly. I reckon he has. It's a goal.
The miracle on grass.
There he is. There he is. There he is. King of the way, why wouldn't you? Because he kicks the goal to break this game wide open. Dustin Martin says, my ball, my goal, my game.
G'day everyone, welcome to Checkside. We're finally doing this. We've been teasing it for a long time. It's been online for almost years. My name is Ben, and I'm here with Scotty. You can call him
G'day.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Go to the comments and call him Scotty. But anyway, we're finally doing this. This is like 2 years in the making. Well, not quite.
Been procrastinating for a long time, but we're here.
It's about a year in the making. Season 2020 is about to get underway. We are doing this on the 6th of March.
Watching the Marsh Cup, Melbourne Hawthorn.
We're doing this, during the game, quarter time. But we're not going to talk about that. We are talking about our 2020 predictions and
A little review of
a
2019.
little bit of a review, which should be fine. All right,
See how this goes.
Scotty, get us underway here.
So we're gonna go through the ladder of 2019, and we're gonna
Or
talk,
should we talk about ourselves a little bit? And you know,
if you want. So
so who are you, Scotty? Who do you go
we're
for
both in Queensland. I go for
in the great game of Aussie rules?
Go for the second place team last year, the Brisbane Lions.
We both live in
The
Queensland
local
as
team.
well, by the way. If you wanted to get to know.
They're very very impressive last year, obviously, and hopefully we can improve on that in 2020. And yourself?
I go for the reigning premiers. Obviously, that's Richmond. We had a pretty good year. I'm not gonna deny that. Pretty good year.
Pretty good last 3 years. Should have been 3-peat.
Pretty good last 3 years. Oh, it's still time for a 3-peat, Scotty. We got time.
Then it could have been a 5-peat.
We got plenty. Oh, still time for a 5-peat. They could have been a 7-peat.
It goes on. Anyway, it won
Oh,
bad
well.
game against Collingwood, and look what happens
Against Collingwood.
in the prelim.
Oh right, I thought it was about you.
No,
One bag again against the Giants, and you missed yourself.
let's be honest. We came second from bloody
Anyway.
bottom 4.
That's us. We're both Queenslanders, so we're not in the footy bubble of Victoria.
No, online we are.
Online we are, but not amongst it. We don't have the Herald Sun
No.
in our faces all the time.
Got the Sunshine Coast Daily.
We got the Sunshine Coast Daily that does not care one bit about Aussie rules, but oh well. Anyway, we're going to review what happened last year, team by team, and then we're going to go through our 2020 predictions in the ladder and Brownlows and Colemans and stuff like that. So,
Let's see where it takes us. So
let's see.
go
It's
in
our first one, by the way. It's going to be a bit rusty.
Yeah, very.
Might be a bit rusty.
So we're going to go in order of the 2019 ladder. So I'll start with Geelong. If you started watching after the bye, you'd have no idea how they came first. But
Yeah.
they did.
They somehow came first after a loss-win record all the way to the prelim.
They're a bit inconsistent, but they came first.
And fun fact, if they continue that trend up until round 2, they will hold the record for the team that's done that through the most rounds.
It was only their percentage that got them to first. The top 3 teams all had the same amount of wins.
Yeah.
So
But I'm not sure Geelong are going to be capable of doing
their
that because they
percentage was
face
massive.
Geelong.
135
Dockers.
and Brisbane's was 118.
They finished on the same amount of wins? 22 wins?
Yeah.
Not 22 wins.
20,
16
I wish. 6 bet. So did you guys.
Oh,
It's just all
Richmond, we
percentage.
all finished on 16 wins.
Yeah.
Wow, would you look at that?
And then
See, Geelong started losing after the bye. We started winning after
And
the bye.
if,
So did Brisbane.
if West Coast beat Hawthorn in that last game, the whole top 4 would have been 16 wins.
Completely different as well.
It would have been 16 wins.
Oh, it
everyone.
would have. Damn it.
Yeah, funny stat. Alright.
What, so Collingwood were 15 wins, were they?
No.
Yeah.
If West Coast beat Hawthorn, they go into the top 4.
Yeah, so I'm saying Collingwood were 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh well. So
Alright.
Geelong season.
So
How
last year, well, they started on fire. Like they
Yeah.
won pretty much every game.
How do we rate? How do you rate their season as a whole?
As a whole.
As a whole, like ABC rating sort of thing.
Oh. Well, going in, you know, they didn't make finals the year before, didn't they? They came like
Yeah,
ninth.
they came 8th,
Oh yeah, they just made
and
it.
they lost to Melbourne.
All right. a lot of people had him missing out. They started of the season's an A+, and then
Extremely well.
beating
every team.
you go after the bye. If you just took that part, it's like a C-, so level. Oh no, that's a bit harsh.
As a season whole, though,
No,
they
C.
came first, made a prelim.
Yeah,
I would say it's
it's a good season. It's like
season,
A-, B+.
Would you say there's a lot of talk about their window?
Actually, it's a great season if you looked at it going in, it's very good.
Yeah, but there's a lot of talk about their window
Oh,
being
yeah.
closed now. Would you say it's closed?
Not necessarily.
For a premiership.
I don't like them.
You know, with their current, like, Selwood and Dangerfield, we say their chances are done at Geelong to win a flag.
It's a tough
Well,
one.
you'd say
Joel,
Joel,
it's
probably.
really getting
Maybe not
to
Danger.
the end.
Danger's still young. Well, younger than Selwood.
You look at Danger's play and you think he's going to win a flag at some point, but, a player that good should be a premiership
There's
player.
a lot of stars that don't win flags.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe it's not for him.
I don't see Geelong doing it this year, so
Yeah.
they're going to try for him. But could be wrong.
So that's their little preview. How do we think they're going to go?
Review.
No, that was the... Oh, yeah. Review. Now, preview. How do we think they're going to go this year?
Wow. This is... Well, what did they do? They lost Tim Kelly to West Coast, obviously, and they brought
That's
in...
a big out.
It's a massive out. They brought in Jack Stephen from St Kilda and Jenkins from the Crows. I like Jack Stephen. He's not a like-for-like replacement of Kelly, but he's a very
You
good...
can get the job done.
Yeah, he's He's a good ball winner. He's damaging. It's no Tim Kelly, though. It's just, where do they play him? Is he going to be like a midfielder like Kelly? Is he going to just be like an extra forward and float through the midfield?
Yeah.
Is Selwood going to have a bigger impact in the guts? Well, not sure, but I think they're a worse team than what they were last year on paper, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, Stevens.
Definitely worse than paper, but enough to drop out of the 8. Well, got to wait and see for our ladder predictions. Little tease.
We're going to do that at the end of this.
Alright, we got to move on. We're going too slow here.
Wait, hold on. Are we saying the ladder prediction now?
No, we're going through...
Yeah, but at the end of each team, do we say where we have them on the ladder?
Oh, right, we're doing that.
Are we?
So a bit rusty. Yeah, are we? Yeah,
We're
let's
very
do
rusty.
that. Alright, so where do you have Geelong
I
on the ladder?
just finding my ladder prediction. I've got them 8th. I reckon a big drop for Geelong.
8th.
I think if you took a ladder from the bye last year, they're 8th, 7th, 9th.
But are they going to continue that form?
Well,
into-
no. Well, I reckon they win pretty much every game in Geelong, but I just...
They're good. They're quality.
Maybe I have them a bit low, but I just...
They always make finals. Oh, well.
Oh,
you
I've
have
got
them
them
at
in the
8th.
finals.
Yeah, okay. I've got Geelong sitting at 3rd. I'm a bit... don't think of me as a Geelong lover. I'm very optimistic about them. I rate them. I think they're too good to slip too much.
I think Tim Kelly's loss is massive.
Tim Kelly's loss is massive. Obviously, would he come 4th or something in the Brownlow?
Yeah,
Or a bit lower than that.
Here, I think 1, 2,
6th or something?
3. No, he came 5th.
5th in the
24
Brownlow.
votes.
Dangerfield came like 2nd.
Second.
Obviously, you're losing a big gun, obviously.
And a lot of the attention's just going to go straight to Dangerfield now.
Yeah.
And there's the next best, Selwood, Kelly, it's a big drop. It's not us, Selwood and Stephen. It's a big drop to what Kelly used to be. 8th might be a bit low, but I just don't like their chances this year.
But Geelong is still obviously well managed, well coached.
Yeah.
As if you hate Chris Scott, if you love Chris Scott, whatever.
Oh, well,
Anyway,
he wasn't
I've got him.
He wasn't too kind to Charlie after that day together.
Anyway, I've got him sitting in 3rd. Scotty's got him sitting.
I've got
in
him 8th.
8th.
Time will tell if we're right.
Alright.
So the team that came 2nd last year, very nice surprise.
Brisbane Lions.
Brisbane.
Jump from 15th.
Well,
Who saw that coming?
goes without saying that it was a great year for the club.
Very rare as well.
Going out in straight sets, slightly disappointing, but to have a chance at straight sets, massive.
Well, as a review, they have now got probably the best small forward in the game at the moment. Could eventually be greatest small forward of all time, but at the moment, probably the best small forward in the game. Who else is competing with him? You've got who?
Well,
Who's the next best small forward? Daniel Rioli? No. Willie Rioli.
Yeah.
Eddie Betts not anymore.
Yeah, he's by far the best in the comp
But
now.
probably Willie Rioli.
Of all time, there's lots, but
No, talking about at the moment.
No.
Willie Rioli
there's
probably
no
next
competition.
behind him.
Maybe.
If he gets back. Or he has a 4-year ban. Who knows?
Where did he come in the common last year? It was way high.
Who?
Charlie.
Oh, he came like third.
Yeah,
Third
for
or
a
something.
small forward.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is Jordan to go? Jordan Go is not a small forward. He's a midfielder playing forward. Like if Jordan to go won the common, you wouldn't say it's a small forward winning the common, would you? He's not a small forward. He's not small.
It's not like
He's
Charlie.
like but he's like a big. But he's not like a tall forward.
No,
So he's just a midfielder.
If he was a forward, he'd be.
It'd be like if Dusty won the common, you wouldn't call him a small forward. You'd just call him a
It's not
forward who won the common.
a medium forward.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Brisbane season
Brisbane.
last year.
They've got the best
22
small forward in the
games,
game.
16 wins. Lockie Neal started with a bang, leaded, favourite in the Brownlow for the first half of the year pretty much with Tim Kelly. Ended up coming third. Just exactly what they needed.
Harris Andrews, age 23,
Can't
first
forget
All-Australian.
Jared Lyons, incredible. Like Gold Coast basically didn't want him. I don't know why. Gold Coast. He especially second half of the year, he was just on fire.
Who's your favourite Lions player? Good name someone.
I do. I go big Steph Martin. He's
Really?
just a likable guy. As a person, as a player, Lockie Neal.
No, just your favourite in the club. Like, ignore everything. Just the one you go to is your favourite. Not like favourite player or favourite person. Just your favourite. Wait, no, your favourite player, but don't judge him like
On
best player.
performance.
Just like, surely you got a name.
Yeah.
Your favourite player at the Lions go. Like, who is it, sort of thing.
Lockie Neal.
Lucky now?
Yeah.
Yeah? I love Daniel Rich. I got a man crush for Daniel
He had
Rich.
a great year this year, but taking
I
the
just
Kittens-
love watching him play. He's a very, very classy, very, I don't know, just seems down to earth. Love him.
Yeah, I love watching guys. Eric Hipwood, Sunshine
Yeah.
Coaster.
Yeah, he is
He's
too.
a legend.
Alright, preview into
2020. Well, what do? They got Cam Ellis-Yeoman.
who isn't a superstar by any means, but
He's going to be good for them in the
what's he
midfield.
going to help him achieve? What's going to help your young Lions? Well, not so young anymore.
No. I just like... I think he's exactly what they need in the midfield. Like, I
Isn't he
don't...
forward?
He's
midfield
like
forward?
mid-forward.
Yeah.
To be honest, compared to last year, it's nowhere near as big as an off-season. I don't like who they lost. Like, Lewis Taylor to Sydney,
Yeah.
Ben Keys, I think he went to the Crows. Like, I reckon those two were... obviously, you can't keep everyone, and they weren't getting games, but...
You're gonna lose some players.
Especially Taylor. Like, he used to be a staple in the team. So,
Really? Oh.
well,
Back in,
back when we were terrible. Maybe not a staple, but he got picked a lot.
yeah.
I just think the main focus this year isn't on the new guys. It's on expanding what we did last year.
Yeah. Keep it going. You don't want to do it. You don't want to fall. You want to keep it going.
Oh, well, it's a bit, you don't want to fall from second, but
Well, no. You're going to fall from
That's
second.
maybe.
That's my prediction. We'll get to that in a bit. All right, where do you...
I've
Well, we'll
got
get to
him.
that right now.
I've
Scotty,
got-
where do you have your Brisbane Lions sitting in season 20... 20. I was about to say 19.
I've got him third, so I've got him falling, but not by much.
Falling by 1. I have got the Brisbane Lions. I'm a little bit more... Well, I'm thinking they will drop out, but I don't want to be that harsh because I do love the Lions, obviously living up here. But I've got them
Drop out of
sitting...
the 8.
Yeah, well, they could. Anyway, I've got them sitting in 5th. I reckon that's... If they can finish 5th or higher, that's bloody good for them. They're still, inexperienced for finals and stuff, but
You think they're a genuine chance of missing the 8?
I genuinely do.
What would you surprise you more if they made the grand final or missed the 8?
Oh, fuck, this trips me up. I reckon if they
They came second last year.
if they miss the 8, that'll surprise me more.
Good.
So I would, if they make the making the grand final, actually, a Brisbane
They don't have to win at the
Brisbane
G.
Richmond grand final. I would love to see that happen. If you finish 5th, no, you don't have to win at the G, do you? Your first final would be at the Gabba second final would be, well,
Depends.
it depends. All right, we're not going to get into that.
But,
Guys, I've got him finishing 5th. Scotty's got him 3rd. Pretty close, pretty reasonable. Who's next?
your team. The
Tigers.
Richmond Tigers.
The Premiers. # Premiers. Now,
What can you
review.
say? Well, they actually started very
Shocking.
Well,
Well, we
lots of
can't
injuries.
say they started shocking. Obviously, Alex Rance went down. First round, still won that game though. And then Jack Rewalt went out. That's a big out. And then Cotcham ran out in the next game. So
Yeah.
they were a mess. And then more players kept
Dusty
going.
missed a couple early on.
He missed one.
Yeah.
Missed one.
Well,
But
there was that.
We won that game. The game that he went out.
Was that the Port
That was
game?
the Port Adelaide game.
Oh, that Port Adelaide game.
We had no Dusty, no Jack, Koch, no Rance.
If you don't remember that,
That was a huge. If you watch Pick a
Yeah.
Winner on the AFL site, you can talk about it. You know it more than me. You love
I
it.
think I forgot who it
What did they
was,
say?
but one of them said
Winks?
it was Winks last race or second last race, and they said Port winning that game was the second biggest certainty of the weekend of Winks, and it convinced me to change my tip. And
Turns out the Tigers got up.
oh,
We went
crazy.
there with a bunch of kids. We won, and I think that's what put us sort of back in the radar of people thinking who we are. But it didn't end there. We kept losing games. At the bye, I think Richmond was sitting 6 wins, 7 losses or something, or 7 wins,
Bit of talk
6
about
losses.
him missing the 8, which
Yeah, there was.
in hindsight is just
Fair bit
crazy.
of talk. But at the bye, 7 wins, 6 losses. That was like borderline sort of like normal team. I don't know where we were sitting on the ladder, probably 7th or 8th or something. But obviously, well documented, charged home, winning every game. Still on that winning streak.
Yeah, well, how many games did you have at the G?
Yeah,
Like
7. It's obviously
in a
gonna,
row.
in a row, yeah.
It's crazy.
It's going to be, I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure why that happened. It's really just putting the, we're the pets of the AFL
Alright,
getting further.
where do you have them for your predictions for 2020?
Predictions for 2020, I think a lot of people would think I would have them first. But I don't. I have them second. I've got the Tigers sitting in second.
So do I.
I think they'll win a lot. They'll probably win, at least 15 games. Maybe 14, 15 games and,
Well, yeah.
something like that. Anyway,
Hard to see them falling away. I've got them second as well. No spoilers about who I got first, but I reckon the top two are going to be very hard to
top 2.
take off the top.
We both have the exact same top 2. We'll
We'll get
let
to that
you
later.
try and think about that until we get to that. Anyway,
Alright, fourth last year, Collingwood. Did they,
fourth last year was Collingwood. That was a surprising twist in come the last round.
yes, that's
First
what I
of
was
all,
supposed
but yeah. So review of Collingwood in 2019. They did well. I think they started pretty well, although they lost their first 2 out of 3 games. They lost round 1, and then they beat the Tigers in round 2, and then they lost to Eagles in round 3.
They flogged us
So,
on Easter Thursday.
Yeah, they had a bit of a rocky start, but then
That
they
game at the Gabba,
yeah.
they smashed us.
Yeah, they found their mojo and they got on a roll, but they weren't really that good. They were putting teams away in the last quarter, but they weren't putting together a 4-quarter effort, which is what I picked up. They were playing, decent first 3 quarters, but they were never putting teams away until the last quarter, which, credit to them. That's when you want to play your best
Brody
quarter,
Grundy.
I suppose. Brody Grundy almost Brownlow,
If
I suppose.
If they'd ever
Could have
give it
been.
to a rock, but they never will. Season. What a season he had, and then
Brody
gets
Grundy.
rewarded with
Will
that
he be the first ruckman
7-year
in
deal.
how many years to... Who was the last ruckman to win a bloody Brownlow?
He's a ruck midfielder. He won't win.
Well, yeah, he's not really a ruckman at all. He's a midfielder who can ruck.
They'll never give it to a ruck though.
Yeah. But actually, speaking of Collingwood, to go off track a bit here, Adam Treloar, bit of a hamstring scare. He's probably going to miss round 1.
Yeah.
Don't know how long he's out for, but he's likely
It's a
going to miss
big
round
out.
1. He is the engine room. He's one cog, a key cog of the engine
The
room.
ball magnet.
Bloody ball magnet. Anyway, what else we got to talk about from them last
Jaden
year?
Stevenson back. Well, he was back at the end of last year.
Oh,
but he should
yeah.
have a awesome year. Rising
But yeah.
star winner.
Collingwood, obviously, they made the prelim again. Well, they made the grand final year before that, but they made the prelim again. Lost
Well,
it by a kick. Lost the grand final by a kick.
Might have been a more entertaining grand final if they
It would have been.
got through that.
But anyway.
Not a very hard contest.
Collingwood, they're an interesting team. Where have you got them finishing
This
next
year, this year I've got them.
This
Got
year?
them fifth, so only one spot
Fifth.
down. It's like West Coast win that game, get them in the
Seems
same spot.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, I just see a very similar year. Like,
They'll win enough games, obviously, to make the finals.
for sure.
Well,
In my opinion,
I've been a bit hesitant where I put Collingwood. I first had him in the top 4, then I had him a bit lower, then I had him out of the 8. But if I had him out of the 8, that'd probably look like I'm just bashing Collingwood because I'm a Richmond fan. But I've got him sitting in 6. I just don't see him winning as much games as the teams I've got above him. Obviously, we already know about Richmond, Geelong, and Brisbane above him. I think they're going to win comfortably more games than Collingwood, as well as the other 2 that we'll get to later. But yeah, I got him sitting 6th. I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the 8. I would love that. I'm not going to lie. I would love it if they...
you wouldn't
could
be
slip out of
surprised if Collingwood missed the 8.
I'll be a little bit surprised, but I would love it if they missed the 8. But yeah, I've got him sitting in 6th, and at least hosting a final. Anyway.
Let's move on quickly. West Coast came 5th last
It was
season.
a bit of a shock.
Well, off one game. They had a
They
great
lost
year.
that game. They were off that one night, but they had a good year.
How was that? How good was that game against you guys in the second last round or whatever?
20 something. Yeah,
It's
that
like, looks
probably
like the grand final preview, but it didn't end up that way.
didn't even play each other in finals.
You thought they were the best 2 teams?
Well, I reckon. What do you think? Game of the year? That game?
Oh well.
Game of the year?
What are the
Out of, like,
what are
every
the
single
other
game?
options? Yeah.
In
in terms of
Brisbane,
quality.
Geelong.
Yeah,
at the
sure.
Gabba, it's
That,
probably-
we were at that game. That was epic.
But I feel like Richmond and West Coast were probably a bit above that.
Just the quality of the whole game and then the close finish.
I'd say it's game of the year.
Yeah.
Just because it was so late in the season, it looked like the grand final preview. It was like they were 5 goals up,
Yeah.
just like the grand final beforehand, but we ended up winning. It's great. I reckon that's game of the year.
Yeah. There's not many. The only other contender, I reckon, would be us.
Yeah,
But there's
the Brisbane
there's a lot of
Geelong.
other close
But
finishes.
to be so close to finals, you got the whiff of September in the air.
In terms of the quality of football,
Yeah.
best game. But
I reckon it was. But yeah, so obviously a great season.
oh
Um,
yeah, they deserve top 4.
Served top 4, but they they really hurt their chances of winning back to
massively.
back.
Yeah.
So a preview
Really-
into 2020.
Just want to touch on Rioli's suspension.
Oh,
last
Riola's
year.
suspension. That still hasn't come out yet. We don't know how long he's going to miss.
Gatorade. Yeah.
We assume he's going to miss at least maybe a year. Maybe 4 years.
not
Up to 4
sure.
years, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's I'm
It's
surprised
dodgy.
it's still not come out yet. Rioli, he returned back to training for like a week or so, and then he went back to Tiwi Islands. I think I'm saying that right. Is it Tiwi?
Yeah.
Was that how you say it?
Yeah.
I think he went back home to his family. Don't know when he's going to be back. We'll keep an eye out
Impressed
on
with that Petrocelli from
Oh,
West Coast last year. Is it?
he's a-
very fast.
Mm.
Is it only gonna get better? And
So,
then
should we talk preview?
yeah, quick 2020. Obviously, getting Kelly, got an awesome team on paper now. You got Kelly,
Yeah, they
Gaff,
got Kelly
Shuey,
now.
Yo.
They're, who we don't like.
Kennedy,
How are they
where
going
do
to
you-
fit all of those midfielders into the one team? It's ridiculous.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a too good problem because someone's.
Kelly can swing forward if he has to.
Yeah,
he can
true.
rotate.
I was reading something.
Injuries happen.
I was reading something that Sheed has his spot is the most under pressure.
Well, like to get picked.
No,
Or
to
in the
to
midfield.
go out for Kelly to get omitted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So what I'm thinking
I
about
wouldn't
that is if Sheed gets dropped, I'm going to send personal letters to the club and say, "How dare you drop the man that absolutely murdered the Pies?"
Surely not. Surely there's.
No, well, that's because what I was reading. Sheed is working on his forward craft a bit more.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to
play
be
as a forward.
half forward.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna.
You got to do something. Kelly's coming in. You're not going to drop Kelly
but
for Sheed
You're not gonna drop. Yeah, obviously. But
You're gonna drop
why,
Gaff.
why does it have to be she? What? No.
because he's just at the end of it. He's
Yeah.
obviously a gun,
Mm.
but you've got
Sure.
Gaff. Not going to drop Yo, Shuey. Anyway,
They can find someone. There's kids. There's move positions around.
Yeah.
Kelly's more than capable of swinging.
well,
forward.
remember in 2018, Sheed wasn't a lock. until late in the season.
Yo can play in defence if he has to.
Sheed only came in because Gaff was suspended. Remember?
There's still a lot of midfield spots. Yeah.
So Sheed's no
Yeah.
cog. He's no absolute cog in their team, but he should be now.
He started last year very well.
Yeah, he's still a gun. Anyway, so where have you got West Coast sitting?
West Coast, I got him at the top. I reckon
same.
Very, very, very hard to see them losing any games really at home. Maybe one or two. They've shown they've gotten over that fear of playing at the G. They've gotten over that for a long time now. They've won a flag and everything. The G's almost like a home ground for them now, and in Perth it's a fortress. Just
basically they'll probably win almost every game except maybe there might be one upset, but I reckon they'll win every game at Optus.
Oh yeah,
they'll probably win. I don't know how many games they're playing at the MCG. Probably 2 or 3 games at the MCG, maybe.
A few more, maybe.
They'll probably win a few. One of those at least. Well, they're playing us at the MCG. I'm not sure who else.
There's only a handful of teams that can really challenge.
I don't think they'll play more than 3 games at the MCG, to be honest.
I don't know.
Anyway, they'll probably win definitely enough at home. They'll probably win a few away. And their quality. We'll see what Kelly does. Obviously, they're not a great ground ball team. Apparently, they're a really terrible ground ball team. So that's the game that if they can improve that, then there's really no stopping them.
Yeah. Top 2 for certain, I reckon. Well, it's hard to say for certain. Top 4 for certain.
We both reckon they'll bounce back from their 5th and be first.
Hard to see them losing many games at all. Next,
GWS, the grand finalists.
Yep, the Giants.
Who got an absolute belting.
Yeah.
From yours truly.
You were there.
I was there.
It's a good
Jesus.
day for a Richmond fan.
I was dreaming.
It's I turned into
anyway.
Didn't look like a grand final at the end.
It didn't. It looked like a Marlon Pickett game.
How good was he?
We'll get to that.
First game. I guess we got to... Well, they're just reviewing. So, debut.
Marlon Pickett.
You've been talking to him about
Marlon
what
Pickett.
He was doing in the
If you
VFL.
haven't seen... Have you seen the ABC documentary on him?
No.
Alright, we're watching that after this podcast.
Okay.
Anyway, if you don't know about the Marlon Pickett story, he grew up in Perth. He was the younger brother to 2 other blokes, I think. Went out fighting with them. Got into fighting. Got locked up at the age of 15. In jail for... He was in jail for about... over the course of his life for about 10 years or something. He was in and out, I think. He had a few kids at the age of 17. And then, he played footy in prison. And he absolutely lit it up. Everyone loved him. And he ended up getting drafted at the age of 27.
Alright, let's get back to the Giants.
Go watch the ABC documentary. It's on Facebook. Not you, I'm talking to the...
Oh, yeah.
Go watch the ABC documentary on... It's a great story. I watched it a few nights ago. It's great. It's insane.
Alright, let's get back to the Giants. So
yeah. Obviously, their year was pretty good.
They've got a great team on paper. It's not a surprise they made the grand final.
Yeah. They didn't have...
Taranto out of nowhere. What a breakout that was. What a year he had. Taranto, Cornelio, Kelly. It's an awesome midfield. Got the common medalists up forward in Cameron. You got Heath Shaw and Haynes and...
Yeah. Someone else. There is someone else.
Phil Davis.
Well, he's down back.
Yeah, I'm talking about the defenders. Just a good all-round
team.
team.
Right, yeah. They're quality on paper. Top 2 team on paper. Them and West Coast. But they had a decent year. Obviously, finishing in the 8's a good year, but they finished 6th.
They came 6th.
To make the grand final from 6 is pretty good. That doesn't happen too much.
No, exactly. To make it outside of the bottom 4 of the 8, very tough. Looking towards this year...
We both have them at very different spots in our ladder, but they're... Bloody... Taranto's missing... I think at least the first half of the season, which is big. He won their best and fairest.
Yeah, he's epic.
And what's ridiculous about that? He's only played for them for 3 years.
Got to remember, so this year
he's a 3rd-year player.
Sam Jacobs coming across from the Crows. Oh yeah, Toronto's.
Yeah, he's only a 3rd-year player, and he won their best and fairest. When does that happen?
Oh, never. It was a breakout of
it's insane.
Decade.
They did have a lengthy. They did an injury problem, didn't they, this year? Or was that not them?
Oh well, Kelly's always guess his injuries, but no, they were
They were
right, I
pretty
think.
good.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. At the end,
did they?
when Toby Green was playing in the midfield, yeah, what am I saying? They
yeah,
did have a bit
they
of
had
an
injury
problem.
crisis.
Yeah,
Maybe not a crisis, but just
they had their fair share.
yeah,
This
bit more
year,
than normal. All right, yeah. This year.
Sam Jacobs coming across from the Crows, helping out. Mumford is still on their list, but I think Jacobs is going to be number one.
Mumford's
ruck,
probably
play
only
most
got
of the
1 or
games.
2 years left.
I don't think Mumford plays many games at all this year.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, mark my words. Yeah, so I reckon Jacobs is going to be sole ruck for the large majority of the year, barring another injury. Riley O'Brien was awesome filling in for the Crows. We'll get to that. Yeah, so predictions this year, I've got them 4th. I've got them in the top 4. I think on paper they're a great side. Losing Taranto in this Marsh series
It's gonna
for
hurt
a good
them.
chunk of the year. It's going to hurt him a lot, but
They get Cogs back.
yep,
They'll get Cogs
Toby
back.
Green showed what he can do in the midfield if he's required.
They can definitely cover Toronto. They've got enough star power.
Green's arguably their best midfielder in the midfield. He's just the best of them up forward. So you got
not Cogs.
arguably.
Arguably. Yeah.
Green was pretty good
We've got to
last year.
talk to some Giants fans. Do you know anyone? I don't know any Giants.
No.
Who are there? There's like 5 of them. I'm just kidding. I know there's a lot of you. I've got him sitting in 8th. I tried to fit into my top 4, even like top 5. I just couldn't. This isn't like some hating on them. If I was hating on them, I would have him out of the 8. But I couldn't fit him any higher than 8th.
It's only 2 spots down on last year. It's not.
Yeah,
you don't
true,
really have to
true.
justify it.
I've got him just squeezing in, but I still think they'll be flag contenders, even sitting in 8th, as they proved,
yeah.
Getting through finals, not even winning at home. So yeah, I got him 8th.
Yeah, I've got him 2 spots up. You got him 2 spots down.
Easy.
Bulldogs came 7th last year. They surged into the finals.
They had a very good second, fourth quarter of their year.
Yeah, everyone had him as their smoky for the flag. But
That didn't go so
come
well.
off it.
Giants absolutely demolished them.
2016 was a bit better.
I say we should try and rush through this.
Rush through
So
it.
what do you think they're going to do this year?
Alright, Bulldogs this year.
We're already going into
They've
them.
arguably got the best midfield in the whole comp on paper.
Yeah.
With Dunkley, McRae, Bont saw what he did in the March. I know it's only a warm-up game, but he
Yeah.
looks on fire. He's shown that potential throughout his whole career, and he looks like he's
Yeah.
going to take it to the next level. Got the captaincy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising to me that he got the captaincy, but all the power to him.
So,
One of their best players.
yeah, I love the Bulldogs.
Probably their best player.
They're entertaining to watch. They got
Yeah.
great ball winners.
So, Bulldogs, there's not much to talk about them. They won the flag a few years ago. Good team, good coach, stuff like that. So, I reckon... wait, where do you have them finishing?
I've got them 6, so 7th to 6. I don't know, old Beveridge does a few funny things with the team. And
I really like Beveridge. I like him.
yeah,
I rate him. I reckon he's one of the top 4 coaches.
yeah.
But I've got Bulldogs finishing 9th.
Oh, wow.
I would love them to play finals. I just could not fit them into my prediction. So I would love them to play finals. I just couldn't figure out where to put them amongst all these other teams I've got. But yeah, they're the ones for me to, if they are to go out, they're to go out because they're very unpredictable.
Oh, yeah.
Like winning the flag one year and then dropping to whatever they did in 2017.
And then even
ridiculous.
last year they were nowhere near the finals, and then
2018
they
they
stormed
weren't in the finals either. So they're unpredictable.
Yeah, but at their best, they can match
At their
anyone.
best, they
can beat
can
anyone
beat
anywhere. They're a good team. All right, just scraping
move
into
on.
the 8 last year. Essendon,
Mighty Bombers.
I don't know. You look at their percentage, right? Percentage 95.4.
Yeah.
Below them, the next few teams below them is 108, 105,
Yeah, that's actually
100,
ridiculous.
99. So on percentage, they're like 13th.
The
so.
Bombers had a very interesting season. They had a very poor start. They won a few games. They got their game on track like a few rounds in, but then they just lost miserably and then won and then lost. But they were winning.
They had no All Australians, did they?
I don't think so.
For a team
No.
that came 8th is a bit. And they had
But-
one guy in that
Their last few games, they were winning by like a whisker. They had like these big comebacks. They were
Origin
winning.
game. I remember that game here against the Crows.
Yeah,
They were no chance, and they got.
and they ended up winning.
Yep. Joe Danaher this year. Is he gonna get on the
He's
field?
probably going to play at the second half. That's a pretty big story, but
He's always going to play in the second half. He never gets
Get injured again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they retained him. Hopefully, well, everyone loves seeing him play. So
Yeah.
he's
I love Danaher. He was all
he's
Australian his
amazing.
last full season. so
Even
he's-
what we saw of him this year, that Anzac Day goal.
yeah. I reckon Danaher is at least a top 3 key forward in the comp. Easy.
Oh,
You know, you've got
when he's playing.
when he's playing. You've got Lynch, you got Danaher, and you got probably Kennedy or Cameron
Yeah.
in there. There's a bit of an argument there. I'm just trying to do this, trying to think of that off the top of my head. You got Darling as well. You got who else is in the mix? Hawkins is in the mix.
Yeah, the top forwards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Buddy when he plays.
Buddy. Well, maybe not anymore.
Oh, he's
I don't
still.
know. Yeah, we'll
still
see what
good.
happens
He's
with
just-
him. Danaher's still like only 25. or
John
something.
Worsfeld's got his job.
Oh, that whole concession plan or something. What is it? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a future episode. Anyway, who was after them?
Hold on, we gotta do our predictions.
Oh, predictions, alright. Season 2020 for the Bombers. Interesting one.
I'm
not sure where you've got him. You've got him out of the 8, don't you?
Oh, Essendon, yeah, I don't. I just don't. Devon Smith coming back is obviously massive, but I just don't. You look at that percentage last year, that's baffling how they even made the 8. I just don't. I see a lot of teams above them. I've got them in 12, but they're a good competitive team.
I think,
they're not.
yeah.
They're not a finals team, I don't think.
I've got the Bombers sitting in 7th. Now, I feel like that's going to get a lot of flack because everyone just loves to hate the Bombers. But I feel like they would have learnt a hell of a lot from last year, and like last year's like really poor start. I reckon there was a lot of off-season issues. I reckon they learned from that. They were going to try and nail down a game plan, and I don't know. I know this has been said. I know this has been talked about, but there's a bit of a Richmondy feel about Essendon.
Why?
At the end of 2016 of Richmond, there's a little bit of a Richmondy feel.
Okay.
Their coach is being laughed at. The playing group's being laughed at. Everyone's being laughed at.
Haven't won finals for
a long
infinity.
time. Obviously, it's probably a bit. Oh, see, Richmond at the time hadn't won finals for 15 years.
Yeah, nah. But
It's a bit similar.
I
I just feel it.
It might be, but
I just feel it. I
don't.
feel like it's a little bit similar. I don't know. Anyway, I've got them. I'm not saying I think they're going to win a final. I've just got them finishing 7th.
Alright.
So we'll move on from that. I
Yep.
reckon they're going to have a good enough year.
Just missing out on the 8 last year probably would have been a lot
Hawks.
better
The mighty Hawks.
than Essendon. Yeah, Hawthorn. So no Tom Mitchell out for the whole season.
That was a
Brownlow medalist gone.
That was a
But-
huge out.
Clarko did what Clarko does.
And they
Beats-
almost made the finals. If they
Yeah.
won one more game, they would have made finals.
Well, they beat them.
Right?
Well, I think that
They had a
win.
higher percentage than
Oh.
Bombers.
I think that win against West Coast gave them a sneaky chance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They won that game, and then the next day, if the Crows beat the Bulldogs,
I remember that.
Hawthorn would have made finals.
The
or something
coach
like
just
that.
gave up.
Yeah.
They didn't even try. They got hammered. I think.
So I was really hoping that would happen because I really wish Hawks made the finals, but they didn't. So,
it was a very. I think.
well.
I think it was a good year. you
but
know.
they had a good year.
A
They
great
they
year.
lost Tom Mitchell. They learnt they had to restructure. They lost him in January. That's pretty late in like a build up to a season to like rework things out and stuff like that.
He's no Tom Mitchell, but what he did in the midfield for him last year, James Warple,
Yeah.
is just. Oh,
So
he's
expect
a star of the future.
expect the Hawks to rise as Alex Clarkson,
Chad Wingard as well.
best coach of the modern era.
Oh,
If
for
I don't
sure.
say myself.
And looking at 2020, obviously get Tom Mitchell back. Like, if there's
Yeah.
any, and the definition of a bull magnet, a pig.
I mean, he's Brownlow medalist.
Yeah, it's a gun. So yeah, he's massive for him. I've got him back into the 8. So they came 9th last
Yeah.
year. I think a few people are underestimating them and have him a bit lower, but
A lot of people are having him like finishing down 13th-ish, which is ridiculous.
I don't see it. But I don't
Well,
have
where
him,
have you got him?
I don't have him moving up that much. I've only got him 7th. So
That's pretty good, though. I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
that's pretty good. This might sound a little ambitious. I've got him a little higher. I've got him sitting in 4th.
it does sound ambitious, but
You
If there's any
can't
team
be
that can do
surprised.
it,
It's the Hawks.
yeah.
Like, it probably is a little bit ambitious, but, you know, you got Clarko at the helm. You got Tom Mitchell back. You've got growth in all these players that
Remember
played
when they snuck into that
last year.
top 4 in 2017, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just got a knack for
Like Adelaide snuck
getting
in,
in good
Richmond snuck
spots
in.
and just winning games that they probably shouldn't.
I just got a sneaky feeling Hawks will absolutely rise up. You know, not only do they get Tom Mitchell back, but they've got, you know, hours and games into all these young guns.
Yeah.
You know, coming up, and like John, what's his name? John Patton. Is it Patton or Patron? Patton. You got John Patton, who a lot of people laughed at, saying, "Oh, he's going to be a big dud," but a lot of people laughed at him. I reckon he's going to be an absolute gun. I reckon he'll really help out because they got what's his name? I forgot his name. Jared Ruffhead, right?
Yeah.
Ruffhead left. He's gone.
Well, he basically left last year. He came back for that Gold Coast game. Yeah.
But you know, they filled that hole hopefully with Patton.
Yeah.
So I really rate the Hawks.
Sam Frost comes across as well.
Sam Frost comes. That's right. Sam Frost comes around.
Don't know how much of an impact he'll have.
Might help him out a little bit, but I feel like Melbourne need more help than Hawks.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, he's not one of the best.
Yeah. Let's quickly get through these next chunk because I don't think many people care.
Yeah. Maybe we should restart this.
10th,
Port Adelaide. So. Yeah.
They had I'm going to say, shocking year. They've been bubbling around the just outside of finals for
just not very good.
Many years now.
Travis Bogue.
They haven't done much.
What a year he had out of nowhere. You know.
Yeah, well, they really haven't done much at all.
I don't know how Ken Hinckley's still there. You see what Koshy said? He's like, have to make finals or we're dropping.
Yeah, Koshy was...
It's not the way to run a club, I don't think.
Yeah, he was like in some sort of interview or something. He's like, if Port don't make finals, Hinckley's sacked. I'm not sure if that's something you should say to the media, but he did it.
Just to put everything on the coach as well. Like,
yeah,
it's either you want him or you don't want him. Like, and missing out on finals isn't just the coach's fault. It's partly Koshy's fault. And it's like the whole club.
Yeah,
it's the
whole management.
And anyway, it didn't seem like the right thing to say.
Well, I think they had
last year
failed. I reckon it failed.
Yeah, it
was
very inconsistent. I remember that they did some funny things. That game against the Lions, remember when they were going to terrorise Lockie Neal?
Terrorise Lockie Neal.
And we just flogged him. The first quarter was like 40-0 or something.
Quarter that team that's just like...
a bit weird. But
who knows?
How good was the young Rosie?
Rosie. Or Dersma as well.
But Rosie was epic.
No, Rosie was good.
I like Dersma too.
But I really like Dersma.
The kids brought a ton of excitement. Dersma with his little bow and arrow.
So maybe that'll do something coming this year. Maybe they'll bring some much needed excitement. But we'll see. Anyway, let's get on to 2020. Where do you see him finishing?
I don't see him in the 8. I see him getting close again. I got him 9th, so there you go.
I've got them. Where have I got them? Oh, well. I've got them sitting 16th.
Well, we'll see who's right.
So, I don't know. I just don't rate them.
Isn't it like their 150th year as well? Yeah. So it's big.
I just don't rate them. I think their coaches come out saying we're going to win the premiership and shit like that.
Oh, that's silly.
That is silly. Like I feel like that's just going to distract them so much that they're just going to completely flop, and then Hinkley's going to get sacked. And
they're still a decent team on paper.
Yeah, but there's always big stories, and I feel like this is going to be one of the biggest stories of the year. It's going to be, they were hoping
Ben's big call.
They were hoping for the flag, or not even just the flag, just for finals, and they're going to lose so many games. They're going to be third last, and absolutely just the media's just going to go all over them by midway through the year. I can see that happening. This year it was Melbourne, or last year it was Melbourne.
Yeah.
I feel like this year it's going to be Port. Well, not so dramatically, because Melbourne obviously made the prelim.
Didn't go too hard on Melbourne, for considering what
they did. They did at the end of the year. They were like, this is huge. Like, what is going on with this team?
Weird. Anyway, let's move on. So you go Port 16th. To the other team. Adelaide, 11th last year.
Adelaide, an interesting one. They finished higher than I probably thought they were going to.
No one wants to be at Adelaide. It's a bit of a...
No, they had a whole exodus. There's a big exodus at Adelaide. This trade period.
A massive positive for them was when Jacobs went down. This Riley O'Brien comes in from the sample and just... How good was he? He's like...
Yeah.
One of the top handful of rucks in the competition last year. Just match after match. I really enjoyed watching him. And obviously Jacob's leaving, so he'll be the number one ruck for the whole year, and I think he's one of the best in the comp behind the main 3 or 4. But yeah, as a whole, their season last year, just really inconsistent. Brad Crouch was another positive. Young Fogarty.
Eddie Betts had a few good moments.
There's a reason to be excited, yeah, and then got dropped. But yeah, Fogarty is something for them to look forward to. This year, Sloane taking up the captaincy by himself instead of that whole sharing thing. Yep. I like that.
I love that.
I like Sloane as well. He's a good leader, great player. He's got a bit of a tough job leading the Crows this year, but I think...
Well, think of it as he's bringing up all these new guns, these new young players.
It just hurts when obviously no one really wants to be there.
Yeah,
They lost all.
And that leads us into our 2020 predictions. Where have you got them finishing?
So touching quickly on a few other guys they lost. You know, Hugh Greenwood to Gold Coast. They lost so many. Greenwood, Jacobs, Jenkins, Betts, Keith. Like, it's just, remember in that trade period, everyone wanted out. So quickly, onto predictions this year. I've got them dropping a long way. I got them to 15th. Some people have them lower. Yep. I just think they're still a good team on paper. They're Crouch Brothers, Sloane.
Yeah.
They're not good. Like, they're not great, but some people have them bottom 2. I think they're slightly better than that, but not by much.
He's talking to me right now. I've got him winning the spoon. I've got him at 18th.
And I had that for a while.
I honestly just see it's not that I see the Crows bad, it's that I just see every other team better than them, as I put it easy. But yeah, I don't see him winning too much. 18th. Let's move on.
Let's move on. So 12 last year, North Melbourne. Yep. News coach.
North Melbourne, they had some bloody big games beating bloody big teams. Obviously, Richmond one of them. Collingwood the other. They absolutely pelted Collingwood. They had some good games. That was obviously when Shaw took over.
Yeah,
obviously,
I like Shaw.
They were new coach. Their old coach, Brad Scott, didn't mind him. Obviously, probably not as good.
Just a pretty mediocre year for them last year. Zeeble played well in stages. He was a good option in fantasy last year. He was a forward. But yeah, it's a decent year for them. No one had
a decent midfield.
No one had high expectations.
They're a big, tough team, but
I liked how they played when Shaw took over. But they're a pretty mediocre team at the moment. They're
obviously Shaw he said our benchmark is playing finals. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I don't think they will.
I don't see it.
2020?
Looking towards 2020, well, second best midfield in the comp according to
Champion Data.
So
apparently, GWS have the best forward line, and they kicked 25 points in the grand final. Just I get the reasons. I get the reasons behind that. They're obviously going up against the number 1 ranked defense in Richmond.
It's one bad game.
That's one key point. Obviously, the ball was never in their forward half. But anyway, let's
those Champion Data rankings were a bit funny.
Bit of a joke.
I've got the Kangaroos. I don't have them in the finals, like Shaw says, but I've got them 14th. So dropping down.
14th.
There's not much to say about them.
They're a bit of a in there. They're working things out kind of team.
Like, they're good. They're competitive.
The coach doesn't.
They're not a disaster. Like
no.
But they're.
Well, I've got North sitting at 13th, so one above Scotty. So, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's move on. No one cares about North. North fans.
Sorry, North fans. Below North Melbourne last year, Fremantle. So, another team with a new coach.
Got a new coach at round 23, just the start of round 23.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
Which is a little bit weird. Poor Rossi Lyon. I really wish he kept the job.
I did like him, but he wasn't.
Anyway, so let's try to get to this one quickly.
Brownlow medalist team, so
obviously Nat 5. Don't even mention him in the same words as Fremantle. He's just a gun. I'm kidding. Anyway, they're pretty good. Just a run of the mill sort of year, these next few teams.
They were hovering around the 8 for a few stages, but
so were Gold Coast.
Yeah, but decent way into the year.
Fremantle, they were probably a sneaky chance to make the 8 at one point, and then
to look forward to. There's that Hayden Young, who sounds pretty promising, but the one I like, Andrew Brayshaw, has just had a few good solid years.
Yeah,
I think he can go into the midfield. I think Fife has said he wants to spend some more time forward. I think just to preserve his body. So Brayshaw goes in the midfield. I see him as a good young future star. But Blake Acres coming in is another positive. I like him. James Aish, not so much. but he's an alright addition. But yeah, just going on to the predictions now. I've got Fremantle. I've got him at 16th. So it's a long drop.
Bit of a dip.
Yeah.
I've got Fremantle.
There's a lot of talent there, obviously. You got 5.
Oh, obviously, yeah. Jesse Hogan's out, I think, isn't he? Taking mental health leave or something?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure either. I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere. But I've got Fremantle sitting at 12th. I see him sort of bubbling around the same sort of area. Obviously, that's like one higher than they did last year. But, new coach, maybe he brings a bit of fresh energy.
I do like...
Ross Lane did feel like a bit of a... it did seem a bit meh to, to be around.
I like him.
I like him as well. I reckon he was a great... obviously, he got Fremantle to a grand final. He got another team. He got St Kilda to a grand final. I think it was Ross Lane who did that. So, he's... I've heard the saying, he's a very successful coach. You know what I mean? Because he's got Fremantle and St Kilda to a grand final, but they haven't won it.
Yeah.
So he's a very successful, unsuccessful coach.
He'll probably get another gig someday.
We both got him sort of bubbling around the same.
Alright, let's move on to the Saints. So 14th last year, 9 wins, 13 losses in 2019.
I think they had
another team with a new coach. So that's like 3 in a row now.
Yeah, that's another one. Jesus.
Yeah,
and we got the other one coming up soon.
A bit funny, and all these.
I didn't rate. What was it? Alan Richardson? Was it Richardson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't rate him. I always thought he was just a bit meh. I really rate Ben Rudden, or Radden, is it?
Yeah.
I really rate him. I feel like he's going to really turn things around at the Saints. They obviously had the biggest influence in the trade period. I don't know who they all brought in, but off by heart, but they brought in who did they bring in? They brought in a bunch of players.
They were awesome in the trade period. So
they brought
Ryan Abbott,
many
Dan
players.
Butler, Brad Hill, Dougal Howard, Zach Jones, Paddy Ryder.
Yeah, they were. I reckon they won the trade period.
Brad Hill's in my mind. Massive inclusion. Dougal Howard.
Yeah, they brought
I
in
like
so
Zach
many.
Jones as well. So talking over you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Jones. I loved him when he was at Sydney. Just a good, solid defender. But yeah, they had an awesome trade period.
Dan Butler's going to fix up their accuracy, hopefully. That's what I hope.
Bit of a loss for you guys.
Oh, we don't need Dan Butler. Dan Butler's probably one of my favourites, but hopefully he'll go to St Kilda, fix up their accuracy and, kick some snags.
We're going our predictions for 2020. St Kilda, I've got him in 10th. I reckon they can challenge for finals.
I've got him in 10th as well.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know we had it in the same spot. So we've both obviously got St Kilda in 10th.
That trade here was awesome. I like Radden as a coach. I think Seb Ross is in for a big year. He had a quiet year last year. He finished really well. Billings as well. So the team around him was good. Losing Jack Stevens big. I reckon if they kept him as well as all these guns, obviously you can't keep everyone. But
I feel like they will definitely challenge for finals. If they play finals, I would be surprised, I think. Would you be surprised if they play finals?
No, not really.
I'll be a little bit.
I'd be surprised. I think there's a...
I'll be more surprised if they finished where they are now or below. I'll be very surprised. Surely they will climb.
I reckon they'll just miss out. So do you.
I reckon they'll finish no lower than 10th. I feel like they'll... 11th. I'll say 11th. Anyway, that's St Kilda. We're sort of cutting through this
I'm really excited to talk about this next team, though, Carlton. You see what Brisbane...
Sydney.
No, is it?
Yeah, we're going Sydney.
Oh, it is too. Cut that out.
Alright, who finished?
Cut that out. Next team, Sydney. So, disappointing year for them. They had,
Sydney...
a long, successful club. They're due for a bad year.
I mean, they won one flag, but they were very successful for a long time, making finals for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
But...
disappointing with Buddy.
Severely dropped down. Same with a few teams. But anyway... Buddy is definitely in his last... probably 2 years. I don't see him continuing on for beyond 2021.
Just all those good guys are getting old.
They've got a very young list.
Yeah, they lost a few old heads like Kieran Jack, Jeremy Bay, Nick Smith.
They do have a lot of kids coming up.
So Lewis Taylor comes in. I reckon he'll get a lot of games down there. He's a good player. He just couldn't quite get into the Lions set up this year. But he was, I think, one of the biggest losses for the Lions in the whole season. We had a very good run with injuries last year, but it only took really one, definitely two, to a forward, and he's straight in. He's a gun. So they also get Sam Gray. I like him as well. Caden Brand. Be good to see Buddy play a few more games than last year. He's a huge factor.
He's one of the superstars.
But in
of
them
the comp.
winning games, like he's massive.
If he can play regular footy, that'd be great. Be great news.
Yeah, obviously.
But Sydney, overall, they probably had a pretty poor year. They weren't great. But, you know.
But they're due for a bad one. They need to going through a rebuilding phase.
Now, where have you got them finishing in season 2020?
Got them dead last.
You got them last?
Yeah, 18th.
I thought you had them higher than me. I've got them sitting at the exact same spot, 15th.
That's last year, not as me.
Oh, yeah, same as last year. So I'm sitting at 15th. That probably happened just out of coincidence. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really rate them that much.
Well, they're rebuilding.
They're rebuilding, same as a few teams at the moment. But yeah, 15th. Not much more to say about that. So let's move on to
now we can talk about Carlton.
Pretty big talked about team, the mighty Blues.
I love the
Blue
Blues
Baggers.
this year.
The Blues.
Sam Walsh in his first year.
Sam Walsh won the Rising Star. He's an absolute jet, an absolute gun, whatever you want to call him.
May as well give him the Brownlow last year as well, almost. He was epic. The Walsh and Cripps combination. Walsh is only getting better.
So, Carlton, obviously, start of the year, they lost, I don't know how many in a row, but they lost a lot.
Yeah, well, another team with a new coach.
They lost a lot, sacked their coach, Bolton, which is now at the Hawks. But they got, what's his name?
Teague.
David Teague.
I loved him.
David Teague now, and he really turned things around. I think they won their 5 out of 6 games under him or something, which is pretty good.
First game.
Something about that.
First game Teague came in. I don't really want to remind myself, but it was against the Lions.
Against the Brisbane, was it? Yeah.
I think we had a good lead on him early, and Cripps just played.
Cripps played a blunder.
The best game of his life. That goal, that running goal he kicked.
Cripps goes for goal, and Cripps delivers, and the crowd goes crazy. Anyway, Carlton, yeah. I
reckon
a lot of people think they're going to rise a hell of a lot. A lot of people think they might play finals.
Well, you see what the Lions did from the bottom 4 last year. Obviously, they bring in Eddie Betts. Jack Martin from the Suns, I like a lot.
That's really going to help him.
Little underrated one, Jack Nunes. He's a handy little player. And the biggest news of all, the biggest inclusion this year, Sam Doherty, 2 years out of the game. One of the best ball-winning defenders in the competition.
Yeah.
He's a gun. So if they can get a full season out of him. Yeah, so Doherty in, Martin in, Betts in, Nunes in, Walsh second year, Cripps is Cripps. They could definitely challenge for the 8.
They could, but where do you have them sitting?
Got them 11th.
In the 20th, in the season 2020.
I know.
You got them what, 10th?
11th.
11th. I've got where have I got? I've got Carlton sitting at 14th. It's not too much higher than they did in the previous season. I just don't. I don't know. They could. I would not be surprised if they finished, as high as 10th, kind of thing. But I just at the moment.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made the 8. So
I wouldn't be too surprised.
I'd
actually be a little bit surprised.
You keep saying that there needs to be 2 new teams in the 8. Well, that's what history says. There's normally at least 2.
At least 2.
At the moment,
3.
I've got 1 new team in the 8.
I've got 2.
But I wouldn't be surprised if a surprise slips out, and I wouldn't. And there's 3 teams that I reckon could take that spot: Port, St Kilda, and Carlton. And really wouldn't be surprised to see Carlton in the 8, and I'd love to see him in the 8. Like, a very exciting team, very young
really
team.
Interesting.
I'd take. Who would have had Brisbane second last year? So you never know.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, move
on to the bottom 2.
I got 14. You've had him at
What
11th. All right. Now here is a really interesting story. The Melbourne Demons finished bloody 17th.
They get a Z minus.
That is absolutely insane. They made the prelim. They finished 5th the year before. Made the prelim and absolutely just got ahead of themselves dropped.
No one should be reading into my ladder prediction because I had them first going into 2019. It was just 16 positions off. Yeah, so I remember they lost their first 2 games, and so did Essendon, and they had a round 3 game against each other, and it's like whoever lost that would be 3-0. And
Bombers won that, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
And everyone's
smashing them.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Melbourne have got to be near perfect here on in to make finals." It's a bit cool that early. But
So, Melbourne's season is well documented, so we're not going to go too much into it. But we don't know what happened to them. They lost Jesse Hogan, which didn't seem like a big loss at the time. Probably turned out to be a pretty big loss, but I think it was more to do with hunger and fitness.
Angus Brayshaw didn't really look himself.
Yeah, they all looked a bit out of whack. They all looked like they were sort of going to walk into finals, I think.
You look at how Brayshaw finished the year before. Look at how he played last year.
He was, but in my view, I reckon they went into the season thinking they were just going to be walk up into finals and then get the season underway, but they just got way too ahead of themselves. And see what happens this year.
Ed Langdon and Adam Tomlinson coming in this year. Not the greatest inclusions, but on paper they're a great team. And
on paper, they're a great team.
Just a little scare with them.
If
Gawn
Yeah.
goes down, the
Pretty much
backup
screwed.
racks ain't great. Do they still have Bruce? I don't know. Not sure.
If they miss finals, do you reckon Simon Goodwin gets the sack? Gets sacked. I'm not going to say gets the
if
sack.
they miss finals,
If they miss finals, do you reckon he gets sacked?
no, not necessarily. But they need to show a lot of upward
Do
trajectory.
you reckon if he gets, like...
Which season is the blimp on the radar? The prelim or the second last? You know, which season?
Well, before the prelim, they were, what, 9th? So they were making a positive, trajectory, whatever the word is. They were making, they're going up. Made the prelim, awesome, they just
I don't think you can definitely
massively.
say if they come last, if they don't make the finals, he gets
No,
sacked.
not quite that, but if they have another season like last year,
I'm not Koshi.
then I reckon he'll get sacked.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Predictions.
predictions. Season 2020,
You go first.
I've got Melbourne sitting at 11th. I reckon that's a pretty good improvement, but I can't fit them into the 8th. I did want to. I really wanted to. I just can't. Just can't fit them.
Well, I think we all know Melbourne isn't the second worst team in the competition, so I've got to move them up. But not by that much. I got them 13th. So I think just they never got it together at all last year. I think it's going to take a lot to get back to anywhere near what they were the year before. As I said, Gawn, a lot rides on his shoulders. New
He's
captain.
got a huge responsibility.
If he goes down there, in massive trouble, which is you can't. It's not a good thing when you rely on one player so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully Brayshaw can get back to his best in the midfield. Clayton Oliver's a gun, but I don't see him moving up too much. Got him 13, so another disappointing year for Melbourne fans, I think.
Yep.
And quickly, last but not least, Gold Coast Suns.
Gold Coast finished obviously at the bottom. They had a shock. They had a great start. First 5 rounds, they won
their first 4.
Yeah, they won 3 in a row. They won their first game and then lost their second and won the next 3 or something.
They
Something
lost
like
to St Kilda by a point.
But
Another
they only
round
won
1 or 2.
games. Yeah, so
No,
they won
but
their next 3 in a row, didn't they?
Yeah, I think round 1 they lost to St Kilda by a point,
Yep.
and then they won 3 in a row, and then they lost every game.
Every single other game. But Gold Coast have been a big talking point this off-season. They've been huge. They've obviously recruited a lot of players. The Hugh Greenwood, was it?
Yep. From Adelaide.
Brandon Ellis, 2-time premiership player with the Tigers. Got him.
Zach Smith.
Zach Smith.
And obviously what they did in the draft. So Matt Rao looks like
Obviously
another...
got Matt Rao and Noah Anderson.
Matt Rao looks like... It's hard to say another Sam Walsh after he's saying one of the best first years of all time.
Definitely.
But what he's done... I know it's only this practice games, but he's shown a lot of glimpses of Walsh. He probably won't quite have the same numbers, but because Walsh has set such high standards, but he's still an awesome young player.
Will be interesting.
The biggest thing for the Suns is trying to hold on to these kids for more than the few years
They've got to build up the kids' faith in what they're doing. Obviously, the easier way to say that is just culture, but they've got to really build into the kids' minds that what we're building here is good. If they could do that, then they could probably keep
It's
it.
a problem the Lions had for a long time when we were bad.
Yeah.
but then we started
Because
to
you lost
keep
a lot
them.
of players during that period.
Yeah, they all came and left. They also get Noah Anderson and Isaac Rankin as big names in the draft, but no one showed as much promise as Rao, but I like Anderson especially.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the Suns, I don't think they come in last, obviously, because I had the Sydney Swans as last, so I reckon they're moving up the ladder, but not by much, only to 17th, but
Yep.
if they can keep this team together, these kids together, they can be a real force in finals in the next few years, but it's a big if.
I've also got Gold Coast sitting at 17th. That's another coincidence. I didn't know you had them at 17th as well. But yeah, they're good on paper, great on paper, but they've got a lot of young, inexperienced kids. So if they can keep them together, and as Scotty was saying, then maybe in a few years, finals time, they can.
I think it's going to be
they can do
an
something.
exciting year for the Suns. I hate going back to Brisbane, but when we were bad, there was especially for a couple of years when Fagan first came in, especially, we were losing lots of games by under a goal or by 2 goals, and we were really competitive, but we just didn't really know how to win.
Yep.
We didn't really know how to close out games, and I can see that happening with the Suns a little bit. Like, I don't see them getting out of the bottom 4, but I see them being really competitive in most of their games. I don't think
Yep.
they're going to be the easy beats they have been for pretty much since they were entered into the competition, I reckon.
All right.
They're
So
going to be tough to beat.
we both got them sitting at 17th, but good news for the Suns. They're on their way up. So that's our full first to 18.
Full review of the ladder. It's our first
Of the
podcast, so a bit shaky.
Bit rusty, bit shaky, but stick with us and we'll get to it. But now we're going to go through our Brownlow, Coleman, Premiers, and Rising Star winners.
Alright, let's start with the Brownlow. So, Nat Fyfe winning last year.
Bit of a controversial.
A little
subject.
bit, but he's still a gun. He's still...
Yeah, still a good player, but he's in a team full of, nobody's
But it's
really.
not about... Yeah, it's about the best player. Do you really look at Fyfe as a 2-time Brownlow player? I guess you have to now, but...
I don't, but sure.
Yeah, let's go to our
Alright.
predictions this year. So I've got another guy.
Who have you got winning the 2020 Brownlow medal?
I'm predicting someone who's won it before to do a Fyfe and win it twice. It's from Geelong, Patrick Dangerfield.
Dangerfield. I didn't
Yeah.
know you were going to go
I
Dangerfield.
did. I thought about this for a long
Oh.
time. I'm in an hour.
The fact that Kelly leaves really does open him up.
I think that helps
to,
him in terms of the Brownlow for
That's what I mean. It
votes.
opens him up
Yeah.
to win more votes and win the Brownlow.
It's
but,
it's a really tough one, the Brownlow this year. Like, there's no standout.
There's
I love
huge
Cripps,
list.
I love Bont, I love
of
Grundy
players.
as well, Smokey. There's a massive list, as
Yeah.
you say. But Dangerfield, Kelly goes. He's
Dangerfield, more
in the midfield
responsibility,
the whole time, for sure.
more votes. Should be up there.
There is a little disadvantage of Kelly going that all the attention from the other teams is going to go into him. Like, he is the
Yeah.
star. But he's won one before. I think he's a good enough player to hold off a strong tag, unless
Yeah.
it's like De Boer. So I got him winning the Brownlow. How about you?
My number one pick is probably a lot of people's pick is Cripps. I reckon Cripps, since he got last year, right? He won the most votes up until the bye.
Yeah.
He holds the record for Brownlow votes up until the bye,
Mhm.
which not a great record you want to brag about because you didn't win it, but still a good record.
Oh yeah.
But if Carlton can win, just even a few more games and Cripps can continue, his form a bit better, I reckon it's Cripps. It's his to lose.
For sure. Like,
For sure, his to
like
lose.
I said, there's a handful of players that you
Like
just can't.
a
pick.
lot of people would be predicting Cripps.
Mm.
A lot of people.
Oh, jeez.
So that's why I want to give in my little second.
I love Cripps.
my second tip here, which is Bont. Marcus Bontempelli. I feel like if it's not Cripps, it's him. And if it's either of those, I completely failed. But I reckon it's going to be Bont.
Yeah.
That's I reckon it's going to be Cripps. And if it's not him, then a Smokey and Bont. But
if you can
everyone
call
knows
him
about
that.
Cripps. Everyone knows
Bontempelli's
about
amazing.
Cripps.
But I wouldn't be surprised if either of them won it.
Yeah.
As well as mine, and you can throw a handful
Yeah.
others in there, Lucky Neil, but you can't name everyone because
But yeah,
that's not how.
ultimately my
not how
tip
this
is
works.
my tip is Cripps.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say my tip is Bont. My tip is Cripps. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Bont won it. So Coleman.
Let's
On
go
to
through the comment quickly because we both have the same
We both
player.
have the same.
So,
This is no surprise.
well, it might be to some people. There's a few contenders. But Tom Lynch from Richmond. So you got to remember his preseason last year was very interrupted.
Broke his leg.
Down to their training.
Broke his PCL,
He was running laps. He didn't look
Yeah.
100%. And very surprisingly, like no one would have predicted this at the start of the year, he was one of the few Richmond players to play every match.
Yeah.
So
It was him and Dion Prestia were the two players to play every match.
yeah, no one would have had Lynch's.
And Lynch was questioned to play round one, and then
Yeah.
he actually did play round one, and then he's played every game. His first half of the year was pretty poor. I mean, you know, he got off to a bit of a fly, but then he had a huge dip. Wasn't kicking many goals.
Yeah.
Wasn't kicking any, really, at some point. And then he finally got into the groove. Basically, his first half of the season... Sorry, we're watching the JLT game. Someone just got their jumper ripped completely off.
He's running around.
Which I've
with that
never
shit.
seen that happen
He's
before.
still going.
Tom Lynch's first half of the season was basically his preseason, and then he finally got into the groove and kicked. I think he finished 3rd or 4th in the Coleman,
Yeah.
which is pretty good for someone who didn't even have a preseason.
Arms, he looks like a streaker.
He does. God damn! What the hell? You should be watching this JLT game or Marsh game. Anyway, so yeah, we both reckon
Yeah.
Lynch will
I
win
think
the
just
Coleman.
so. Did he come 4th last year?
He came somewhere near 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. So interrupted. That's hilarious. Interrupted preseason is
Basically,
massive.
didn't
Like
have
he's
a
got a full
preseason.
preseason this year. Yeah, to come 4th from where he was, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Is great. Just
And-
obviously it's not easy to pick.
And like
but-
even so, Lynch he took the most contested marks of the year, so that's bloody big considering he didn't even have a preseason. I think he took I'm not sure about this one. I think he took the most marks inside forward 50, which both of those stats I'm pretty sure they're both right. That's huge for someone who didn't even have preseason compared to someone like Hawkins or Hawkins or Cameron or any other big key
for
forwards.
sure.
So he's
And-
an absolute gun, Tom Lynch.
It wasn't it, it's-
If he can stay injury free, he's gonna have an absolute
go back and watch some of his
awesome
highlights
year.
from.
And
the
if he can
Gold
get a
Coast.
good relationship with Rewalt, that's gonna help even more.
And he seems to be like the main goal kicker out of the two. Like they're
Yeah.
both great forwards and great goal
Yeah.
kickers, but
Although Rewalt was injured for most of the year, so we'll see
yeah,
what
but
happens.
just a few times you saw them playing together, he seemed to be like the go-to man.
Well,
for goal.
Rewalt was injured, so he was playing a bit of a second.
Oh, true.
second-
Like
yeah.
injured and playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we both got Tom Lynch.
Well,
Now,
we'll see what happens in the coming year. But
let's go to the Rising Star next. and cover
Rising
the
Star?
Premiership last.
all right, Rising Star. Who have you got?
I got it's no real surprise,
No real
Matt
surprise.
Rowell.
Matty.
So I
Number
just
1 draft pick,
been
obviously, if you don't know.
blown away from what I've seen from him. This looks like very similar to Walsh, as I said earlier.
It's like the past few years. It's very much been the number 1 pick is not only destined to play, every game in the season for the team they get picked at, but they're also like the absolute favorite for the Rising Star. A few years ago it wasn't so much like that.
Yeah.
A few years ago it was, if you're not number 1 pick, you're amongst a collective few to win the Rising Star. But nowadays it seems like if you're the number 1 picked, you're winning the Rising Star almost. Sort of going off Sam Walsh. And like Matt's
it's
like
one
very
year.
similar.
Like you look at
Yeah, but
Rayner.
Matt seems very.
Oh yeah.
It's the
these-
same
these
sort
two.
of headline, same storyline.
But it's only
to Sam
2.
Walsh.
It's only 2 years,
Yeah,
and he hasn't won it yet.
yeah. I just like it's the same sort of talk that Sam
Yeah,
Walsh
yeah.
had this time of year.
But there's no.
So no guarantees, but anyway, who's the winner?
Are you
Matty?
sure Stack can win it? Because he's not on this list.
Wait, we didn't get to that yet, mate.
He can cut it out.
I'm not going to cut that out. Oh, well, yeah. Well, Scotty just ruined it for me. Anyway, my Rising Star tip, it's probably a little bit ambitious, but yeah, it's Sydney Stack. Yeah, whatever. Scotty's trying to prove me wrong here on the sports bet side.
I don't know if Stack can win it, but anyway.
Stack. Okay, technically he might not. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so from what I've read a while ago, I'm pretty sure the guidelines for winning the Rising Star is you've got to be under 21.
We should know this.
Under 21 or 22, and obviously previously not won it. So Stack fits that criteria, which I'm pretty sure that's the criteria. You've got to be under 21 or 22.
Alright, let's work this out.
But yeah, anyway, my Rising Star winner is Stack, because he obviously came close last year. Then he got injured. Even if he did play every game, I still don't think he would have won it. But like, he got close because, you know, he was going up against Sam Walsh, so I don't think he was going to win it against him. But if he gets close this year, plays every game, has, you know, solid games every game, I feel like he'll win it. So Stucky is my wash, is my prediction. If he doesn't win it, then it'll be Matt. I reckon Matt is should be the clear favourite, but I'm just being a little bit of a Richmond fan here and thinking Stuck might win it.
Trying to find out this criteria, because
Yeah.
I think I saw a list of the favourites and there was down to $81 chances, and there's...
Well, my other tip is, this is just the Richmond fan literally coming out of me, is Jack Ross. I think Jack Ross is an absolute
Isn't that
gun.
the same thing?
No, Stack. See. Okay, I'm explaining it, Scotty. Jack Ross. The only reason I'm not saying.
Jack Ross is eligible.
Alright, the only reason I'm not saying Jack Ross is because I don't think he'll play every game or near enough games, but I think Stack will. I'm not sure what Scotty's showing me right now. I think he's saying that
Ross can win it.
Ross is on the sports bet side, but Stack is not. Maybe the rules are if you get nominated, you can't win it. Is that the rule?
No, because I was just reading on Wikipedia.
Because
it is possible for a player to be nominated in multiple seasons as long as he still satisfies the age and experience criteria in each year. But what is the age?
Oh, what's the
and what's the experience?
The age? No, he'll be fine the age, but what's the experience?
11 players have been nominated twice for a Rising Star Award.
The experience would be like under a certain amount of games.
Yeah, so let's.
So maybe Stack has already exceeded that. I doubt it.
Give us experience. Sorry to everyone out there who's yelling and knows. Unless he's just not in the top chances and he's not on this website.
I would say that's it. He's not in the top chances.
Wow, but Ross is.
Well, we'll learn. We're not going to waste time on this podcast figuring this out, but we'll learn this in the when we're not doing this podcast. But anyway, my tip is Stack.
Well, I've gone with the
Stack or Ross.
Clear favourite, so I can't
really argue with that.
So
you can't really argue against that. But I'm going with Stack because I think he proved an absolute gorgeous resume last season. And if not him, Ross. If he plays every game, I reckon he's every chance of winning it. This is just literally the Richmond fan in me wanting these two guns to win it. But if it's not them, then I'm going to go for Matt. He's an absolute ready-made midfielder, and he's going to play every game for the Suns if he obviously stays fit.
If Ross played every match for you guys, I reckon
he'd be up there.
He'd be in like the top 2 or 3.
He'd be easily up there.
I
just don't think he will.
So hard to crack into that Richmond 22.
It's very hard to crack into any, Premier side, so, we'll see if he can do it.
Let's close this thing off with a premiership prediction. I'll go first. So mine is my minor premiers as well. I reckon West Coast. Now, I think West Coast, Richmond, Brisbane, and the Giants. I reckon that top 4, it's toss a coin at this stage. It's very hard to predict. But I'd love to see Brisbane win it, obviously. But West Coast, for all the reasons I had them first, like, bring in Tim Kelly. The whole team's just beast mode. I won't list it again, but it's amazing. So yeah, top of the table, premiership. I got West Coast. Who you got?
For the premiership?
Yeah.
Richmond. That's not really a surprise to anyone listening. As a lot of reporters do say, it's hard to tip against the reigning premiers for the flag, especially ones, as in the middle of a hopeful dynasty.
2 in 3 years. Could have been 3, but...
It's hard to tip against them. Even if I didn't follow Richmond, I would probably still tip Richmond.
It's hard not to.
It's really hard not to. Like, if I was going to tip someone else, it would be West Coast, but it's really hard to tip against Richmond. For a few facts, the obvious ones, plus we've had, no injuries in this preseason, which does help a hell of a lot. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tip Richmond.
Oh.
It's going to be theirs to lose, I feel like.
Just a machine.
If they're not going to win it, it's going to be of their own doing, not someone else being better than them, I feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But...
Like 2018. I don't think
Yeah,
Collingwood was better
2018
than
was.
us.
Oh,
It was just-
not by that many points.
They were just we just
You
weren't.
just got coxed.
We just rocked up thinking we were going to win,
How
and
good.
we didn't win.
You just got Mason.
We got
coxed.
coxed. We got
Um,
coxed in the booty. I don't know. I was trying to think of an AFL pun, but I couldn't think of one. Anyway, so you think who'd you say?
Yeah, West Coast, but
West Coast.
I understand why you
West
got
Coast would be my second.
Tigers.
It's really hard to go past Richmond in a few reasons, but yeah, I'm gonna say Richmond.
I'm gonna be like everyone else at the end of last year. Bulldogs are.
Bulldogs are.
If I had to pick an outsider,
It's gotta be Bulldogs.
I love them.
What do you reckon GWS chances are of winning the flag?
Good.
They've got some really good finals experience
Well,
now.
as I said when
Really
I
good.
was going through West Coast, I said anyone out of West Coast, Richmond, Lions, or GWS, I wouldn't be surprised. But you got to pick one. So
Yeah.
I went with West Coast. But no, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Giants went out there.
They've gained some,
We've already gone through the teams, but
Yeah.
on paper they're
and they
guns.
they've really gained
losing
some.
Toronto
yeah.
hurts, but you
Oh,
know,
only for the first half.
Yeah, I know, and
They could regroup
they
themselves
should do
halfway
enough
through the
work,
season.
in my opinion, to still finish top
Yeah.
4. So yeah,
So season 2020 is really shaping up to be a cracker.
hopefully.
We don't know. Hopefully, I mean, season 2019 we said the same thing, and I think it turned up. Season 2019 was an absolute
he's
ripper.
talking about these predictions for a long time, and they're probably all wrong, but that's alright.
We're probably very wrong, and we will come back to this at the end of the year and just absolutely smack ourselves in the face and prove how wrong we were. Because you know what, Gold Coast are probably going to win the flag,
I was about to say the
and
Crows.
Aaron Norton is going to win the Common, and who's unlikely to win the Brownlow?
Unlikely to win the Brownlow.
Who's like,
Chris Burgess.
who's that? I don't even know who that is.
Gold Coast guy last year.
All right.
He averaged like 20 fantasy
Right.
points a game.
Well, that's going to happen, and if that happens, then whatever. Oh well.
Alright, thanks for bearing with us.
This is episode 1. This is probably extremely rusty, but you know what? The first few to the first 5 are going to be rusty, but we'll get into this. This is going to be probably a fortnightly podcast.
Yeah.
You know, listen to us.
Do
as
one at the
you,
end of round 1, but we'll get better. We got our training wheels on at the moment, but
Yep.
we'll get better as it goes on. Thank you.
We will listen to us as you go to bed or driving your car. I don't know where you want to listen to us, but thank you very much for listening. If you've made it all this way, we hope you enjoy and we hope you stick with us as we get better in the world of AFL journalism.
Well,
We're not journalists, but thank you very much for listening.
see ya.
See you next time.